Hello everybody, welcome to my channel Delululand. My name is Uhari and I am quite excited because today I have a mic. I would like to thank the audience member who contributed towards this. Thank you so much. Your support means the world to me, but your faith in me means even more. I hope I continue to entertain you because you deserve it, okay? The thing about the internet is we come here to escape, to find things that are seemingly mundane, but because of how mundane they are, there's almost a sense of safety and security in certain types of people, content, or creators. And such a creator is Boogie2988. Boogie has one very consistent trait about him, and that is self-victimization. Boogie has this amazing capacity to reason himself into victimhood. At every turn, Boogie is the victim. I didn't know that my empathy could be exhausted to the extent it has been when I've watched these docu-series about Boogie. See, background, Boogie was raised in a very abusive household. According to him, his father was an addict and abusive. His mother was abusive and also mentally ill, struggled with a lot of depression. Boogie, real name Stephen Williams, struggled with obesity all his life. One of the things he's claimed is that his mother said that she overfed him to the extent that she did so that no one else would want him, which is just such a terrible thing to do. So when you hear some of these things, it's like, how could any good person look at somebody who's experienced this kind of trauma and be completely unempathetic? How can somebody listen to someone say that they were sexually assaulted by their parents over and over whilst they were growing up? What kind of person would listen to that and roll their eyes? Someone whose empathy has been exhausted. Somebody who's been inundated with so much information about somebody's trauma that it is almost questionable as to why somebody's providing this level of information. Such detailed information about such sensitive matters. But Boogie brings all of this information up, not to share it, not even to process it, but to put up a defense for himself, for all the actions that he takes. Boogie is a victim. And when he victimizes, that's when you really need to remember just how much of a victim Boogie is. It's crazy to think that anybody could look at somebody who pities themselves so much online. Somebody can look at that and think, wow, that's hot. Boogie has struggled throughout his life with not feeling physically attractive, which makes sense because for a very long time in the world, it was unheard of that anybody could openly proclaim to be physically attracted to somebody Boogie's size. But the person that Boogie is, psychologically, that's the part for me that's difficult to understand as to why anybody would be attracted to somebody who is drenched in just dysfunction. Somebody who is addicted to dysfunction. What kind of person would be attracted to someone like Boogie? Someone addicted to dysfunction. Somebody who looks at Boogie and is attracted to him is somebody who is desperate to feel needed. It's somebody who has a very codependent personality. Codependent relationships are simple. One person, party A, is highly needy, and party B is highly clingy. And as long as party A is needy, party B has something to cling to. So, looking at somebody like Boogie, hearing everything that he has said, inboxing him, and then emotionally coddling him, and being attracted to him, those are all signs of somebody who wants to be needed, who wants somebody to love them, somebody to keep them around. But when people struggle with self-esteem, they struggle with understanding what it is that they could bring to a healthy relationship. So a seemingly healthy relationship where two people come together out of a healthy connection, that kind of relationship is not sustainable for them, because they will never have peace. They will continuously be wondering, what does this person see in me? What does this person want with me? Why would this person be with me? Every time somebody like this hears, I love you, they think to themselves, but why? And so they don't trust that kind of love. So if they are in a healthy, nurturing relationship in which somebody's continuously positively reinforcing them, they feel uncomfortable and they self-sabotage that kind of relationship. But when you're with somebody like Boogie, who has so many health issues, it's easy to see how you can fit into somebody's life like that. I say all of this to say that this relationship between this 48-year-old man and this 20-year-old woman is very disturbing. But Boogie didn't seek this young woman out. She sought him out. For her to have watched his content and thought, ooh, that's somebody that I want, in and that of itself is troubling, because she saw Boogie exactly as what he perceives himself to be, exactly how he loves to be perceived, and that is as a victim. She came to him with a savior complex. Oh my goodness, look at this man who is so unfairly and unjustly being attacked by the internet. This man, this nerd.
I don't know what it was. It was, I guess, his energy, his curly hair, his glasses. I must be into nerds. I guess, I don't know. He's just adorable to me. I like him.
You know, he's just a nerd. He's just a funny guy. He's just a sweet guy, and people give him such a tough time, and he's had such a hard life, and we're kindred souls because we've had hard experiences, and there's this whole bonding over this essentially wounded bird that she is flocking to in order to save him. And Boogie, being the pathetic man that he is, saw this red flag, because all of this is red flag behavior, right? He saw this and he immediately capitalized on it, because he, for the life of him, couldn't believe that somebody so young and beautiful would be attracted to him. And this is going to come back to haunt her in the relationship. People like Boogie will punish you for loving them. People like Boogie hate themselves. A self-loathing person who also has a very inflated sense of self. It's always a very interesting combination to see how somebody who feels so low about themselves, but at the same time thinks so highly of themselves, watching these two personalities try to fight it out in Boogie's head, it's quite interesting. It's quite interesting, and I think the point where this came out the clearest was a portion in Mike Clum's documentary where Boogie is talking on the phone to the documentarian who had taken him to talk to a job recruiter, find out what he could do if he were to fully give up on this YouTube dream of reattaining whatever success he had, or giving up on YouTube as a job. When talking to him on the phone, he said, I have 4 million subscribers. Boogie understands that the number of subscribers he has means nothing, that it's not bringing in money, that it may look good on the outside, but it isn't. But at the same time, Boogie also perceives himself as being far too good for the working market. He can't go back to working. He has 4 million subscribers. He hates himself, but he doesn't hate himself. Sometimes Boogie's self-hatred is very performative. It's just a manipulation tactic he uses so that people pity him, because that's a coping mechanism he picked up when he was young, and it worked for him. Boogie, at some point in his childhood, learned that attaining people's pity could be used for his advantage. Attaining people's sympathy became a way for him to self-soothe. It's easier to perceive yourself as a victim than as a failure by your own action or inaction. He has a very passive attitude towards life. And when this 20-year-old came to him, he couldn't believe his luck. My thing is, I was watching / listening to the documentaries, right? So when I went back and I was able to actually see what this young woman looks like, I understood why the community, YouTubers, were so disturbed by it. Because at first I was like, she's 20. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I think that even if she doesn't realize it, she's most certainly going to be taken advantage of. But she's an adult. Then I saw what she looks like. If you are 48 and you are dating somebody who looks like they could successfully play an 8th grader on Disney Channel, you're sus. You're sus. It's one thing to be with somebody who is younger, but she looks significantly younger than she is. She looks like she should be calling Chris Hansen and being like, hey, I've seen your show, and some of the people who use this decoys look old as shit. Now, I'm forever young. I got this whole youthful thing going on, and I feel like I could do some real good in this world catching pervs. I guess in a way she did catch a perv. It'd be one thing if we thought it was like a gold digging thing, which is like, you'd have to be the worst gold digger in the world to try and gold dig Boogie. Although I guess compared to $0, it's something, but that's not the kind of thing or relationship dynamic that is going on here. I believe that perhaps the world would be more comfortable with that. That seems a little less insidious than the alternative, which is, well, damn, if it's not money, what are you getting? It's like baggage, just really dense, heavy baggage. So, like all healthy relationships go, she moved in after 3 months. She takes care of things around the house. She does chores. Boogie is 48 going on 75. His health is in the shitter. And these are the things that he has to offer her. Everybody was so disturbed. And I looked at her and I got it. And I'm going to say something right now. That's true. Back in Boogie's heyday, when he was still making mad money, when he was still blowing his money on sugar babies and prostitutes, when he was trying to bang LA 10s, he wouldn't have been attracted to his current girlfriend. He would be calling her all sorts of Arkansas 6 or Arkansas 8, whatever the hell else he said when he talks about women. There was a portion where he said that he deserved to fucking LA 10. He deserved it, and it was something that was denied him because of the way he looked and the person that he was. But when he got money, he had the opportunity to sleep with these kinds of women, so he did it. Boogie has no sense of self, yet also an inflated sense of self. He feels like he's a piece of shit. But the minute others are like, yeah, you are the piece of shit you think you are, he's like, how dare you? You're attacking me. You're attacking me. Well, Boogie, if they didn't attack you, what would your life have? What would you have left? What would you have left if you didn't have the internet to blame your problems on? Who would you blame for attacking you? There's a part where he's talking about his weight, and he has this helplessness in his voice, and he says, he's tried everything. He even tried the gastric bypass, and even that stopped working for him. Honestly, the whole gastric bypass thing, yeah, that was not the fix-all people thought it would be for weight loss, because weight loss is psychological. It very much is, and people like Boogie are proof. You can't cheat the laws of nature. And the laws of nature, when it comes to weight loss, require continuous conscious effort. Particularly if you're someone like Boogie and you're having to unlearn years and years and years and years and years of maladaptive coping mechanisms. In order to be successful at that kind of surgery, you need to take accountability. You can't be a victim. Boogie's a victim, so he ended up only losing about 200 pounds, and then he is clearly gaining it back. And that's another opportunity that he has squandered. These are all things that are on public record. These are things that she knew. She went after him. Say what you want. How does that happen? Well, the documentarian takes an angle. He kind of gives us his theory as to what's going on based on the questions that he's asking.
Growing up without a father figure has its challenges. Like, you just don't have that support system that you would, and the advice that you need. And so it's just difficult. I don't ever want to be alone. That's another thing. Maybe that's why I have stuffed animals. I don't ever want to be alone. And so it's just nice to have company.
The first thought for everyone is, of course, daddy issues, right? When somebody so young is dating somebody so much older, it's often thought of that this is due to this person having father issues. And in this particular case, this young woman does have severe daddy issues. Lack of daddy is the issue. And she talks about the kind of almost the way she talks about her relationship with Boogie is there's this paternalistic tone that underlies their relationship structure. And she says something to the effect that with him she doesn't have to be alone. And the sad thing is, if you go after people like Boogie, you will always land up alone, because somebody like Boogie who's not going to take responsibility of their health, for their health, is going to die on you. It's like being with somebody who's an addict, somebody who is just, well, yeah, because he's a food addict. Being with an addict is being with somebody who's moving way too fast in a pattern of self-destruction. And it doesn't matter how much you love them. They love their addiction more, and they're going to live and die by their addiction. You're only ever going to play second fiddle in their life. Somebody who is broken, particularly by their own definition of perception, somebody who is hurt, somebody who has trouble with their self-esteem, those are people who struggle to reciprocate love because they struggle to internalize it. There's all sorts of work that we're supposed to do on ourselves, and people like Boogie want others to do the work for them. You're gonna have to love him on his behalf. He's just going to turn you into a caretaker, just like he did his wife. He said one of the reasons that their relationship ended was because she said she felt like a caretaker. Taking care of a partner isn't a bad thing. It's a very good thing. But that kind of care has to be earned. And if you're starting your relationship straight off the bat with a caretaker dynamic, it's not going to be healthy. Boogie's side of the relationship is more simple, really. He's not going to let this golden opportunity go. He's not going to let somebody slip through his fingers. A young, skinny woman, it's his dream. Boogie loves skinny women. Don't like them thick. Which to each their own, actually. I don't think that this young lady would be with Boogie if she was raised with the love that she desires to have had from a father. That kind of love solidifies a young girl's sense of self very early in life. It can make or break a young girl's confidence. I was raised with my father at home. I have an extremely close relationship with my father. Before I started filming this video, I was talking to my dad for like 25 minutes on the phone. He was just discussing something with me that was heavy on his heart. And he says he enjoys speaking to me. I'm like the house psychologist. I always help him put things in perspective. No matter what happens in life, I know I can go to my father. When I was a young child, I have 2 sisters and my mom. So it's 3 women and a man in the house. And my dad used to make all of us girls, women, breakfast in bed. And he would go into each of the rooms with a tray, and then he would take everything and he would wash the dishes himself. And if anybody tried to help, he'd just be like, no, go relax. I'm doing this because I love you guys. Well, when I'm down, my dad would buy me flowers. There's a lot of experiences that the media portrays of young men giving young women certain things, and it's like, ooh, wow, if he does something like this, he really loves you and it's really great. And some men grow up without father figures, so when we try to show each other love, we mimic these things. So we'll do the things we see on TV to show love, but sometimes people's only way to try to love is to show the things that they saw on TV and not the things that they experienced. I actually experienced that at home. That wasn't just like a gesture that I will one day see from a man and be like, oh my God. I'm not going to minimize it, Bae wants to wake me up breakfast in bed. It's amazing. What I'm trying to say is, it's not new. Love should not be new. It is my personal belief that what the Western world's model of family got wrong was the mother being the primary love giver, right? From my historical background, the father was the primary lover. It is from the father that our sense of self is almost secured, right? It's that love that can soften our hearts. And when the father loves, society heals. Because men know that the primary language with one another is not to fight each other. I know I've strayed off topic right now, but something like homophobia exists because men loving men has been deemed as being wrong. Because if men could love men, then why doesn't my father love me? Therefore, a man loving a man has to be a sin. Or else, why did my father not love me? I think that is the root of homophobia, which is to say that love between a man and a man is natural, is to take away an excuse from generations of patriarchs who have treated their loved ones without any empathy. Generations of patriarchs who treated their children, their sons, without love for fear of being usurped. Men who feared that their kids would be better than them instead of looking forward to it. When love isn't a scarcity, then you won't have a 20-year-old looking towards the world's most dysfunctional 48-year-old, looking for love, and a love that doesn't leave, looking to be chosen, to be had, to be held. We're not supposed to love out of scarcity and need. Love is something that must come from home. But we don't have homes anymore. Because we don't have homes, we have people like Boogie and the young woman that he's dating. They're all just products of a society that has made love a scarcity and a rarity. Something that used to be oxygen to humans is now finite. You don't have to think about breathing. Air is just kind of always there. We talk about like air pollution and we talk about air restriction when it is contextual, but other than moments where we have to think about breathing, up until something in life forces you to think about it, you don't have to think about it. It's just there. That used to be what love was like. Through centuries of carefully crafted societal planning, governments usurped the roles of fathers, and governments called themselves the fathers, the heads and the providers of families, and turned everyone into a child and everybody into a competitor. There's something to be said about this profession that Boogie has entered, this content creation profession, and what it has to offer in the hands of those who use it wisely. One of my favorite YouTubers to watch from afar. Like, I don't like standing people because that has only ever led in disappointment. I was thinking about it earlier when I was thinking about Gandhi. Not the best. He wasn't very fond of my people. His whole argument to the apartheid government was, but our hair is silky smooth, so we're very clearly not niggers. So could you please not let us ride in the nigger compartment? Let us come in front with everybody else, not the niggers. Oh, Gandhi was so peaceful. Oh, of course he was. For his people. If you're gonna look at one element and not another, God, history sucks. Learning history can suck sometimes. People you thought were really cool were only kind of cool. No one's 100% bad or good. He did a lot of good. He just also loved white pussy. Okay. How did I end up here? I don't know. Fatherlessness in society. That's where we are. One of my favorite YouTubers to watch from afar is Cinnamon Toast Ken. I like the idea of him and Mary, his wife, and their kids. I like it because he reminds me of my dad. My dad was there when I was a kid a lot to play with me. And because he's a YouTuber, he can spend a lot of time with his kids, and he plays with his kids and, introduces his kids into playing video games, which is a family business, which is insane, right? But when I see that, when I see what content creation has to offer in the form of reinstating nuclear families by disconnecting our dependence from governments, I get excited. I really do. It's exciting to see these dads who can essentially be like stay-at-home dads, whose jobs allow for that because they create content. Those are the kinds of lives that you can create from this opportunity. You can be your Cinnamon Toast Kens, or you can be your Boogies. And both played video games, so what is the difference? One reviews TCAP videos and the others belongs in a TCAP video. TCAP is to catch a predator. Boogie talks about having squandered essentially the opportunity of YouTube. This great opportunity to be a content creator, to make money off of literally just speaking. It's a dream. It's the dream. I would absolutely love to make the kind of money Boogie made. I would absolutely hate to lose the kind of money Boogie lost. Sucks. I'd feel sorry for him if he wasn't so busy doing it for himself. There's like a surplus of pity when it comes to Boogie. But that's how he got his girlfriend. Boogie likes comparing himself to Jerry from Rick and Morty. And there is something that Rick said about Jerry and how Jerry functions that is very apt and basically perfectly describes how Boogie has been navigating his life.
You act like prey, but you're a predator. You use pity to lure in your victims. It's how you survive. I survive because I know everything. That snake survives because children wander off, and you survive because people think, oh, this poor piece of shit, he never gets a break. I can't stand the deafening silent wails of his wilting soul. I guess I'll hire him or marry him.
That's how he survives, and that's what he's still trying to do, and he's not adapting his coping mechanisms. At the end of the day, if it wasn't Boogie, it would be another man. This young lady needs to heal. And I doubt that she would see this, but if she ever were to, I would say, hey there, young lady. I forgot your name. But I can say that you are worthy of happiness and love and self-confidence and self-love. The love you desired growing up is the love I hope you end up having for yourself before anyone else. I wish you the best, and I hope that you learn from your relationship, and I wish you the best in your relationship. This video is actually all over the place. I don't know. I started with something that resembled structure, and I just went in another direction. No solid direction, actually. I just kind of let the conversation lead itself. But yeah, I still have a lot more to say on the topic. I still want to talk more about Boogie, because there's so much that can be said. But these are the two creators, Mr. Snowflake and Mike Clum. I will link the documentaries in the description or the pinned comment. And thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate you, and I hope that you have an amazing life. If you enjoyed this, please like it. If you didn't, dislike it. And comment. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.